Hey, what's up? It's MilkTeaV back again for another video, and today we are going to be comparing two known farming spots for Multifire snipers, and these spots are Anolian's instincts in the glass-time culverts and Kobold archers and Kobold hammers in the Cord forest. Before we start, don't forget to click on subscribe so you will be updated with my newest videos and for more content like this. Before I show you the stats or the data, I'm gonna first have a quick discussion about the spots. For glass-time culverts, it was a lot harder for me to keep my spot because first of all, we all know that culverts is a hot spot for leveling and farming. Even if I started farming at around 2 or 3 AM in the morning, I still came across a high wizard who tried to steal my spot. Plus, of course, we all know who this guy is. He is a very big problem and a very big pain in the ass. So it was a very big problem for me and I had to check on my character every once in a while to see if my spot was stolen or not. For kobolds though in the Cord forest, it was pretty smooth compared to culverts, though if you want to farm in the aggressive map, you'd have to have a second character who pulls the monsters so you could kill 4 to 5 monsters with each multiplier. It's a lot easier to get killed in this map too, so you'd probably have to invest in defensive items such as Goblin Leader Mask and Therafrog Guard, just basic demi-human damage reduction equipment. There are only a few number of spots though, so I imagine you'd have to do some channel hopping to efficiently farm here. The data for Cord forest that I'm going to show you is from the aggressive map, so if you want to farm in the non-aggressive map, expect lower numbers as you can't consistently kill the same number of kobolds there. So on to our data, I have 60 minutes worth of data for each farming spot. Both I used lightning chains. If you want to have a ballpark figure of what you'd get from 360 minutes of stamina, you just have to multiply the 60-minute values by 6 to get 360 minutes, which is what you would ideally get. Now let's first look at what we got from stings and Anolians in GH culverts. Over here in this column, you can see what values I first started with. So before farming, I had 5,411,501 zenny, 22 necklace of oblivions, 10 great natures, and so on. Over here on the next column, you can see the values I got after 60 minutes of farming. Getting the difference from before and after, on this column, you can see how much I actually earned during the 60 minutes of stamina. So we earned about 120,000 zenny, 4 great natures, 12 mystic frozens, 4 armor shards, and 2 royal jellies from farming stings and Anolians. And onto the next column here, we see the zenny equivalent of each material, which gives us a total of 197,544 zenny of earnings from our 60 minutes of farming stings and Anolians. So let us now move on to kobolds in the Cord forest. So let's look at this column. These are my starting values. I started at around 5,300,000 zenny. You can see the values after farming here. So onto our earnings. After 60 minutes of farming, I got 116,000 zenny, 218 abyss flowers, 14 rough oridicons, 4 awakening potions, 160 necklace of wisdoms, and 8 flame hearts. So over here on this column, we can see the zenny equivalent of this. As you can see, we earned a total of 331,836 zenny, which is roughly 5,530 zenny per minute of stamina. So now let's look at the two farming spots side by side and compare how much we earned from each one. So it is already clear that kobolds from the Cord forest wins this one by 134,000 zenny difference, which is roughly 68% more compared to stings and Anolians in the glass-time culverts. Take note though that these numbers are based on the aggressive map of the Cord forest, which means that I'm able to consistently kill 4 to 5 monsters at one time, because the monsters naturally come to me because they are aggressive, they come close to my multiplier zone. Although there are a couple of spots where you can farm in the non-aggressive map of Cord forest, but I found the mob placements very inconsistent, so I'm not able to kill 4 to 5 monsters consistently. If you plan to farm in the non-aggressive map though, expect lower numbers but you can still farm here. I bet you'd get better numbers compared to stings and Anolians still. Also, group hunting will be ideal here. Even with just 3 members, you get a 10% increase in drop rate, so you might want to consider group hunting. If you don't know what group hunting is, basically it's an adventurous skill that increases your drop rate by 10%. If you want to know more about group hunting, I have a video about it. I'll link it here or in the description below. I guess that's enough about the numbers. Let's now talk about this guy's equipment, skills, and runes. If you already figured out the gears, skills, and runes required for Multifire, you can stop watching here, otherwise keep on watching. First, equipment. His equipment are actually pretty basic. Mr. Brightside here told me to hide his whale equipment and show the basic gears only. So we have Niall's bracelet, tights, doesn't even have a 4th enchant. Ancient Cape for the ignore defense. For shoes, not that important, maybe go for rune boots if you have one or if you have the budget. But as a budget option, go for shoes for the SP region. Accessories, basic ones as well, glove and brooch. Don't mind the slots here as he has Kobold cards slotted, which doesn't help for the Multifire build except for the strength maybe. For the weapon, he has a +8 mystery bow, 2 slotted. It's pretty cheap to get to be honest, but if you don't have the budget, maybe you can use a 2-slot crossbow here. You just have to make up for the damage with runes or food. For headgears and other attachments, again pretty basic, cat beret, hockey mask and spiked scarf for the damage to demi-human, quiver for the ranged attack, and this one's not required, but if you have this one it's pretty good since kobolds are demi-human. Let's move on to the skills. Pretty basic skills as well. What's important here really is the breakthrough so you can get the level 20 Multifire. Multifire really shines after your breakthrough, so make sure to prioritize your job levels if you're currently below job 40. You can just pause the video if you want. I'm just gonna breeze through the skills here. Not much to discuss. There's a couple of non-important skills here and there because there's nothing else to put skill points on. Next, let's go over the runes. What you need to prioritize here are the Multifire runes. There are 5 Multifire damage runes, and to locate them, from the center, go to the leftmost side. From here, this is the first rune, and we go down. Here's the second one, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So work on getting those 5 runes because they each give 10% more damage to your Multifire. I think you're gonna need at least 150 gold badges for this, maybe even more. 4 contribution points around 85,000 will do, I think. Also, there are actually runes that reduces the cast delay of your Multifire. I don't recommend getting them as having lesser delay on your Multifire might cause your sniper to prematurely fire, which would mess up the rotation of the monsters. So I suggest you put those gold badges on other runes instead. Finally, the stats. Just go 99 dex. The rest put on Vit for survival. If you don't die even with minimal Vit, I suggest you put the rest on Int for the SP region so you don't have to spend much of your SP. So I guess that's it for this video. Hope I helped you guys on this one. Once again, this is MilkTeaV. Comment, like, subscribe, and see you next time.